We'll call the meeting to order. This is a meeting of City Council, regular meeting for August 25, 2025. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Council members Newport.
Here.
Wilms.
Present.
Isbell. Hanschel.
Here.
Harp.
Here.
And Hughes.
Here.
Mayor Flynn here.
Thank you. Council, I would like to suspend the rules and modify the order of the agenda because we have a special presentation for a young lady here and we have so many citizen speakers. I thought it might be better to do that first. If somebody would like to make a motion.
I motion to suspend the rules. Second.
That was Travis and Larry Wilms. Roll call vote.
Council members Newport.
Yes.
Wilms.
Yes.
Isbell. Hanschel.
Yes.
Harp. And
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Thank you for that. This is a special presentation. It's a certificate of recognition from the City of Bella Vista. It's presented to Madison Randall in recognition of your selection as Miss Amazing National Teen Queen 2025 and the first young woman from Arkansas to achieve this honor. Miss Amazing is a nonprofit organization on a mission to provide personal growth opportunities for girls and women with disabilities. As the first Arkansan Miss Amazing Teen Queen, Madison represents Bella Vista as an ambassador for other young people with disabilities and special needs, presented this 25th day of August 2025, John D. Flynn, Mayor. It's my understanding she won a contest, the contest in Chicago. There was representatives from 26 different states, and so it was very impressive. If you could come forward, Madison. The next order of business is citizen input. Per the rules, there is a 3-minute per person time limit to address the council on any topic of that person's choosing. The total time allotted for citizen input is 30 minutes. Any time extension beyond the 30-minute total will be at the discretion of the city council. So I'll call people in the order they've signed up. First person is Lori Frank of 8 Iditberry Lane.
everywhere. A Cracker Barrel logo, really. What used to be areas of simple governance have now become entangled in partisan fights. The two major parties are seeking advantage in every conceivable setting. And if we let that mindset seep into local governance, we risk losing the very thing that makes it work. Because when local elections turn into party elections, something changes. Instead of neighbors offering their ideas, we get candidates tied to national talking points. Instead of practical solutions, we get people asked to declare whether they stand with or against party leaders. And if one party dominates, we know that what can follow is corruption, complacency, and a system where no one is in a position to challenge the status quo. That's not healthy for any community. But here's the truth. Local government has a superpower. Its strength lies in staying focused on what really matters. Roads needing fixed, zoning ordinances to debate, community events.
I was about to get that.
None of these get better with partisan fighting. At the local level, your job is clear. Serve the people, whether your citizens lean left, right, or somewhere in the middle. They all want the same thing: practical, thoughtful solutions that improve their daily lives. Local government should be the last place where party lines are drawn. Nonpartisan elections help protect that. They keep our focus on local issues instead of national agendas and headlines. They reduce the polarization that divides neighbors. They allow voters to judge candidates on qualifications, experience, and commitment to the community. Lastly, they lower the barriers for diverse, capable individuals to step up and serve. In short, nonpartisan government reminds us that collaboration and common sense are stronger than division. It shows that local government can be the calm in the storm, where level-headed leaders put the community first. Please, let's keep our local governments focused on what they do best, and that's solving problems. That's the work people count on you to do. Please vote no on partisanship and division.
Thank you, and thanks for keeping your cool through the microphone switching. The next person is Carol Quinn from 1 Teresa Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council members, and thank you, fellow citizens. I'm here to talk about the partisanship platform that is being discussed all over the state, because they've changed the law now so that city councils have the ability to say whether or not they want their members to declare their affiliations. I believe that all politics are local. They start at local areas. I'm very familiar with school board areas, and I've seen the problem when people get on school boards and other organizations and don't talk to what their ideology really is. If they don't, it places a huge burden on voters. They don't know what the people stand for. Some of us do, some of us who care more about politics or have more time perhaps to care about politics, we know, but a lot of people don't. I think that party labels offer a reliable shortcut for voters to understand a candidate's general ideology and their policy positions. More confidence in their decisions. People are more confident in the decisions of people if they know where they stand. And party resources, where do you get your funding? I'd like to ask this group, I know right before the election we saw that, but where do you get your funding? Parties can hold people accountable for their candidates and how they're voting. And there's a lot of broader national culture wars that are increasingly spilling over into local areas. Just a few: gun control, school choice, COVID mandates, And despite the fact that we should look at roads and all the other things that go around with local politics, these things are spilling over into our local politics, whether we like it or not. So I think that we need to have someone who has a clear, concise, and cogent view on these ideologies. Also, I think the progressive prosecution of criminals, for example, kind of dictates oftentimes what goes on in the local politics. Law enforcement funding, that's a huge issue that becomes part of the overall scheme, and I think we should know the ideology of the people who are in our city council for that reason. Immigration is another one, perhaps not so much in this city, but many others. Sanctuary city status and what we're going to do if that ever comes to our doors. We have to make a decision on that. Those are national issues that we need to know how our city council feels about it, and this is predicated on the national consensus. Fiscal policy and federal action, for example, the American Rescue Plan, the federal policy, local government projects were important, but you had to go along with the national policy, where the money was going, how it was being spent, the grant money. Once again, we see the overlay of federal policy locally. Also, environmental and urban planning, zoning, climate change responses, all these things are very important for us to know how the council members stand. Development and density, I mean, are we going to become the biking, trail capital of the world? It looks like it. But there's a lot of issues that I think that we should know how people stand before they actually become a member of the city council. So once again, I just wonder what the city council members are afraid of in declaring what their ideology is. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Gail Pianalto of 28 Gemini Lane?
Simony Lane.
Okay.
Mayor Flynn and city council members, I support partisan city elections. Voters have a right to know which party platform candidates align themselves with, because this speaks volumes about each candidate's worldview and ethical system. Being informed of a candidate's party affiliation is an essential step toward understanding each candidate's individual motives and perspectives, morals, values, and ethics. Partisan affiliations influence decisions in law enforcement, issues like sanctuary cities. Partisan affiliations sway decisions on private property rights. Other decisions influenced by partisan alignments include public programs addressing population density and affordable housing versus environmental issues such as open space concerns, as well as social issues like homelessness, pro-life proclamations, or gay pride flags flying on city property. In your email responses to me, some of you have claimed that partisanship for state and federal issues they're only for federal issues and don't apply to city issues. The truth is that political ideologies and worldview shape the city's agenda-setting process, determine which issues gain traction, and how they're addressed. For instance, Bentonville City Council is currently struggling with the fallout from an advertising mural for a transgender organization that was approved and contracted by the city, paid for with taxpayer dollars, and located on public property. The mural is now creating much division and controversy. The divide is centered on ideology and worldview. Be assured that the vote of each city council member on the mural at their meeting tomorrow night will continue to bring ideological, political partisanship, and ethical worldviews into play. When I ran for school board a few years ago, the question I was asked the most consistently is, what party are you? I was kicked off a few porches for my answer, but I believe that voters have a right to know the truth. Here's something that I found interesting and quite disturbing. During my own campaign, I witnessed candidates for various offices whose ideology and political affiliation was the opposite of mine, trying to hide their partisan beliefs. They were deliberately concealing their political affiliations in a chameleon-like manner to appear more friendly to Republican conservative values. This proved to be an effective strategy to mislead conservatives and middle-of-the-road voters. Candidates can say anything, but political and social organizations they align themselves with tell the truth about who they are and how they represent their constituents. Voters have a right to be informed of candidate partisanship. Please vote to make Bella Vista elections partisan. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Walter Watts of 18 Kirkwell Place.
Mayor and City Council, thank you for letting me speak. I'm in favor of full transparency in all elections. One might argue that against partisan elections, some might say they don't want to be labeled as R or D. They are open-minded. They want to be they want to avoid what they call the contentious atmosphere of state, county, and federal government. Well, the state, county, and feds contribute about 20% to our overall revenues. Never mind the $5.9 million that we received in the American Rescue Act. So we are involved, whether we like it or not. So I say to all our municipal representatives who pontificate that they are independent, don't be afraid of sharing your party affiliation. Because based on what you say, one might think that you're non-affiliated, also known as independent, which is one of the ways you can register your affiliation. So be proud of it. Say where you're at. Don't hide it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Judy Frigon of 7 Frenshaw Lane.
I suppose it's French, but. I just wanted to say that I am a Republican, and I'm proud to be a Republican. It's who I am. It's what I believe in. And I think all the voters in Bella Vista should be able to know what the candidate's ideology is. I know we've heard ideology a lot tonight, but I think it's important. Most people who run for city council, they run for nonpartisan. Under this new proposal, it's my understanding, you still can run nonpartisan. So you're taking the opportunity away from a candidate who's affiliated with a party to run under that party. And I think that's wrong. I think you should allow anybody to run under any label they want. And so I support the proposal because I do want to know what you guys believe in. I want to know where you stand. You might say the city council issues don't come up, but we know they do. You can't help yourselves. Travis, I know. Can't help yourself. But other candidates, same way. But so I just want to say I support the proposal.
Thank you. The next speaker is Michelle Chiacco of 51 Purfleet Drive.
Mayor and council members, thank you for allowing me to speak. I want to begin with the question of partisan elections. It may sound like a debate about labels, but it's about transparency. Let's be honest, politics is in every decision this council makes. Saying our elections are nonpartisan doesn't take politics out. It just kind of hides it from the public. And when you hide the truth from the voters, you're not protecting them, you're deceiving them. Partisan elections don't divide us. They inform us. They give voters context before they choose. Trust in government is only possible when the process itself is transparent. So I urge you to pass this resolution. And this brings me to the second issue tonight. In Jurassic Park, Dr. Ian Malcolm warned, "Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether they could, they didn't stop to think if they should." That line applies here too. The proposed business license ordinance may sound harmless, just a way to track businesses, but when you read it closely, it goes far beyond that. According to Black's Law Dictionary, a license is a permission with competent authority to do an act without which such permission would be illegal. So that means the city is declaring, unless you pay for permission, operating a business in Bella Vista is unlawful. And let me be clear, this ordinance does not affect me personally under section 109-176. I'm not standing here to avoid a fee or carve out an exemption. I'm standing here because I know what it feels like to be a small storefront business, and I know this ordinance really targets that. 10 years ago, I opened a brick-and-mortar soap shop right here in Bella Vista. It wasn't backed by investors or polished by corporate consultants. It started on a hope and a prayer after my husband passed. Just a little storefront, baskets on the wall, and soap I made by hand. That's the kind of business this ordinance will squeeze. Not Walmarts or Starbucks. They can cut a check and never notice. But the mom who risks everything to open a boutique, the couple who signs a lease to start a cafe, the one who dares to turn a dream into a shop, for them this isn't a paperwork, it's another barrier. Another message that says, your dream exists only by permission, and it can be fined $50 to $500 a day if you slip up. That's not economic development, that is economic gatekeeping. It was mentioned all the surrounding cities do it, but since when has Bella Vista defined itself by copying? We don't follow just because others do, we lead when it's the right thing to do. So whether we're talking about partisan elections or business licenses, the bigger theme is the same. Just because other cities do it doesn't mean Bella Vista should. Transparency in elections gives voters truth. Freedom in business gives entrepreneurs room to breathe. Together, these create a healthier, more vibrant community. Council members, Bella Vista doesn't need permission slips or hidden politics. We need freedom and we need transparency.
Thank you. The next speaker is Lori Roller of 3 Blake Lane.
Mayor, City Council members, thank you first for being willing to serve. It's hard to get people to give of their time and serve, and I really do appreciate those that are willing to step up and do that, so thanks. I'm still kind of new here, still haven't figured Bella Vista out, have to get my GPS to even get here from my house. I came from Texas about 3.5 years ago, and I love Bella Vista, and I love how beautiful it is, and I love the people here. I don't mind at all saying which side I stand on and where my values are. I don't understand why someone wouldn't want to voice that and say that. What would cause someone not to want to not say, here's where I stand and here's how I vote? But as you all know, we can find out how you vote. We can find out how you're registered. It's all public records, so we can find that out and dig in ourselves, but we'd rather you just say, here's where I stand, here are my values, or here's what I stand for, and be proud of it if that's where you stand. But I really think it's important that we know that, because it does affect some things that you will be voting on for us and for Bella Vista. As we know, we may not be a POA forever, or for much longer. It may be up to the city council to make decisions. I mean, I don't know. I never even heard of a POA till I moved here. So I'm still kind of learning things. But what you do for us is very important, the job that you do. And we just saw in Bentonville what happened on a city level. So those things can happen that are going to be decisions that how you stand on certain things, or how you're going to vote. So I'm asking, vote for this this election transparency. We just need to know that, so we won't have to go figure out for ourselves. But if you don't, we will figure it out, and then we'll get to tell the story of here's how this person voted, or here's who funds them, what organization. So. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker is Ann Tenner of 13 Houston Lane.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I relinquish my time.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker is Rhonda Davis of 14 Kirkwall Place.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity to speak. I'm a Bella Vista resident who just recently learned of this proposal to alter the process for our municipal the election process for our municipal office holders. I'm unaware of what prompted this proposal, but I urge each of you to vote no on this resolution, thereby retaining the nonpartisan status of our local elections. When party filing fees replace voter signatures to get on the ballot, I see the possibility that elected officials will see themselves as more accountable to a party's agenda than to the residents they are elected to represent. Please vote no on item K, the resolution to provide partisan primary elections for municipal office in Bella Vista. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jeannie Breeze of 65 Rayton Drive.
Hiya. Thanks, everybody, for being here and listening. I have 2 points I would like to make tonight. I've been a Bella Vista resident since 2001. I've lived here for quite some time, and we really do enjoy it. We love everything about Bella Vista, and in that time, I feel like our council has done fine. We've done great. And I am against the creating of a partisan divide in the running of our municipal government. No matter the side of the political spectrum that we're on, when it comes down to things like are on the agenda tonight, clarifying sewer utility installation design requirements, I feel like my neighbors and I have trusted that the council will make the right choices for the community. And I want that to continue. And I don't believe that it's possible if you vote in favor of partisanship. My neighbors and I deserve nonpartisan, fair-minded people in these seats so that our local government doesn't fall prey to partisan gridlock. Moreover, we would like things like this clarifying the sewer utility installation design requirements to happen in a timely manner from our civic-minded leaders who transcend divisive politics and get honest work done for the better of Bella Vista. My second point is I would like to mention that September 8th is 988 Day, a day to help spread the word about the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. To use their words, whether you're facing mental health struggles, emotional distress, alcohol or drug use concerns, or just need someone to talk to, our caring counselors are here for you. Through the 988 Lifeline, you have access to free, quality, one-on-one assistance. Our skilled, judgment-free counselors are here to provide compassionate support. You deserve to feel heard and cared for at any time, anywhere, 24/7, 365. You are not alone. I have sent a proposed, I didn't write it down. I've sent a proposal to my council members so that you could potentially take this on as a proclamation from the City Council for 988 Day, and we would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Patricia Heaton of 2 Greta Circle.
Hi, nice to see you tonight. I've never spoken before the City Council, but today's the day to do it. I'm speaking in regards to Resolution K on your agenda regarding partisanship elections. Frankly, I'm going to be honest with you, it's hard to believe that anyone, especially those seeking elected office or wanting to stay in elected office, would not want transparency regarding their worldview to be known to the people you serve. It's crucial for the people to know what party you affiliate with, as that basic background information is the primary driver of your policy decisions and your priorities, frankly. It's a reflection of your fundamental beliefs. Why would you want to hide that? That would be something that would be good to know regardless where you stand. We can still be good neighbors and have different opinions on that, but that is something that we should be able to know. Anyone who suggests otherwise, that it's not important, well, frankly, has been living under a rock for the last 10 to 15 years in the political situation that we have in this country. And local politics is extremely important. I read somewhere that those who oppose this think that, well, some candidates will say whatever they want to get elected. Well, that's the case even if they have an R by their name, a D by their name, or an I by their name, right? But at the very minimum, it provides voters with a basic understanding of where you stand. Anyone who opposes this, my question to them is, what do you have to hide? I'm a working woman. I don't have time necessarily to do the research that I'd like to do on particular candidates that are coming up for election or for re-election. So knowing that basic foundation as to where you stand politically, either as a Republican, independent, or Democrat, it helps to know what that foundation is, because even through the eliminating process, through the primaries, we can actually pick, candidates in particular parties, and whittle that down to the ones that we prefer to serve the people of Bella Vista. My last point is this. Your vote here today on this resolution will speak volumes, regardless of how you vote. It's going to be more telling than you may realize. Your worldview will be revealed, even though you may choose to hide it, and I hope that you don't. And why not be transparent? We are all adults. Stand on your principles. Be proud of that. If not, then I guess we'll kind of know how to vote in the future, won't we? But I really hope you vote yes on this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Dee Whitaker of 47 Applecross Lane.
Hello. I'm new to the area, 2 years in November, and I came from Colorado, and I trusted in the school board. I worked full-time, and I trusted them. And what did it get me? It got LGBTQ over math and science. It got gender identification and how important that is over history and math, again. And then the next thing you know, you've lost a voice for your children. They're hiding things at the school level that you don't know about what's happening to your child at school. And that's the worst thing, because we trusted the board, the school board. And that's what I want to get across to you. We're trusting you. I'm here for the partisanship, and I think full transparency is crucial. We got to know where your foundation is, where your voice comes from. We are glad to see you volunteer and serve. That's what we all want. But we want our voices heard as well. I strongly support voter transparency, and everybody should. Candidates should not be scared of their affiliation. You should stand up for it, fight for it, or voice for it. You have a voice, and you should shout it out. Let people know where you stand. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe voting no shows that you want to hide something in how you truly feel. And that's what I saw in Colorado on many issues. Not only the school board, but we had county commissioners versus JPs that you have here. So it's really different, but the same. We trust in you, and yet sometimes you really disappoint. Not you, but in the past. It is important to know where city council members stand. Election words are not enough. You can say anything to get elected, but what is your true feelings on things? Knowing your base foundation. It is so easy for any candidate to say anything to get elected, and that's bad, but aligning with a specific party, Democrat, Republican, or Independent, speaks volumes with the candidate's character, philosophy, and alignment. And I just hope you vote yes for the transparency and being honest with people. We may not all get along on the issues, but I surely hope, I mean, some of my neighbors I'm Republican, they're Democrat, but we still talk, we still get together. And we know that if we don't agree on something, we accept that. And we should be able to accept your honesty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, the 30-minute period allowed by the rules has expired, so unless there's a suspension of the rules, the 30 minutes have expired.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to extend the time for
To suspend the
public
rules.
input, extend the rules for time of input for public.
Second.
That
Is that
was,
okay?
How long, for the remainder of the list?
The remainder of the
Okay.
list, yes.
that was Larry Wilms and Travis was the second. Roll call vote.
Council members Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. The next speaker is David Whitaker of 47 Applecross Lane.
Good evening. As my wife said, we're relatively new to the area. We've been here for 2 years and love it. It's a beautiful place. We have good friends in our neighborhood. I don't know for sure what their party affiliation is, but I can guess with some. And I don't have to guess when it comes to city council. I can look up your records. So I don't understand what the conflict is regarding stating what your party affiliation is. I'm an independent. I'm proud of that. I lean Republican, but I'm primarily conservative. I think sometimes Republicans like to spend money as much as Democrats do, just on different things. And I also, over the years, have found that sometimes there's more than one way to approach a problem. If we can agree on the problem, you know, it's fine to listen to different approaches to solving that problem. That's what I would expect out of city council. Stating your party affiliation isn't going to influence that. So I would urge you to vote in favor of party affiliation being a known factor. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Next speaker is Wendy Gaudioso of 16 Money Drive. Morley.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to be here and speak. It's pretty exciting. Our small city of Bella Vista currently enjoys the unique opportunity of working together on the issues that face us all without the distractions that would be caused by partisan politics. Some of you may recognize me as one of the bartenders, along with my husband at Gear Garden. We work at Gear Garden. And any of you who have spent time there will recognize a few interesting things that I think also apply to this issue. We don't know or care who you voted for in any election. When you come to Gear Garden, you're just one of the gang. Everyone comes together with a common goal of relaxing, enjoying the positive vibe, meeting new friends, and petting dogs. We appreciate every one of you for your friendly participation regardless of where you stand politically. Our city council benefits from much the same. Coming together with a common goal, that of learning about the issues facing all of our residents and working together without preconceived biases to discover and implement policies that benefit all of our residents. I think that's what we see happening here. I think you all, here's the thing, yeah, you all have different political affiliations. However, you're working really well together and you're getting things done for Bella Vista. And all the wonderful new facilities that have been built for the police, this amazing building, all of the road resurfacing, all of the amazing handling of the winter storms. You all are making it happen, and clearly, you haven't needed partisan politics to make it all happen. You're just working together in this little microcosm that is Bella Vista, and you're doing it successfully. The issues we are facing are not political party specific. Don't want taxes raised? Let your representatives know. Get involved. Ask where they stand on each issue. It's where you stand on each issue that matters to the residents. It doesn't, to me, I can't see that it matters what your political party is, because this is not up there. This is not in Washington. This is not national. This is little 32,000 population Bella Vista, and we need you to focus on the issues, not on party anything. I believe that at this point, adding partisanship to the equation would only cause divisiveness where none currently exists, waste valuable time, and would constantly take the focus off our local issues at hand, issues that we residents need to have addressed, issues that are neither red nor blue, but are all Bella Vista green. If this passes, the resulting loss of focus and collaboration would negatively affect Bella Vista for years to come. Thank you for your time, and see y'all at Gear Garden.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jim Lemon of 6 Rudston Lane.
Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for hearing me. I'm not a very polished speaker, so I'll be brief. I'm a 25-year resident of Bella Vista. I love it dearly, lived in Northwest Arkansas majority of my life. I think we need to vote no on the partisanship issue. Reason being, when you interject parties into it, you guys are beholden to the parties, not just our citizens. There needs to be fewer barriers to entry to people who do want to serve, make it simple. But bottom line, it just muddies the water. We got a good thing going here. Like my predecessor said, she's a hard act to follow. She said it way better than I could. But I would like to say George Washington, in his farewell address, warned against the evils of partisan politics. And we all see what that's gotten us. So in Bella Vista, we need to avoid that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Martina Platt of 47 Buckingham Drive.
Good evening, council members, mayor. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I wanted to start by saying thank you to all of you for your service. So much of what you do involves so much time and dedication, and most of what you do goes on behind the scenes. We don't see what you do day to day, but it makes a huge difference in our lives, and I really appreciate that. I'm here tonight because I believe that making Bella Vista municipal elections partisan would be a mistake. Partisan elections bring division. I've heard a few speakers say that they don't. However, those same speakers would vote one way or another based on your party affiliation, regardless of the policies and ideas you hold. We see partisan elections tear our society apart nationally. We don't need to import those kinds of divisiveness into our community. When we adopt political labels, we stop seeing each other as individuals. Instead, we label people as conservative or liberal, not our friends, neighbors, and community members. Partisan elections also shift focus away from what really matters. Local government is about your competency, your ideas. Who's got the best ideas for our roads? Who's got the best ideas for public safety, preserving our nature and balancing it with growth? When you attach party, labels become the headlines. People vote based on team colors, not who is best prepared. Perhaps the most concerning is that the priority of loyalty becomes party over people. Currently, council members can approach each issue on its own. You can listen to people like me and all of the speakers tonight. You can weigh the facts and the pros and cons. You can act on the community's best interest. Partisan elections create pressure to stick to party lines, even when it's not right for Bella Vista. My final point is that partisan elections also shift how the public sees you. Nonpartisan elections build trust. We know that council members answer directly to us. If election becomes partisan, that trust erodes. We wonder whether you're representing us or the party platform. Nonpartisan elections encourage personal engagement. Without party, candidates have to stand on your own values. You have to stand on your strengths and your qualifications. You have to explain your vision to the people. You have to earn our support directly. You have to connect with us on an individual basis. This is how local democracy should work. In closing, I believe that Bella Vista is stronger when we keep elections focused on people, not political affiliation. I urge you to vote no on this resolution and preserve Bella Vista's nonpartisan spirit. It's what makes our city and government so great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Randy Rice of Deerhurst Lane.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you all and you all. I love the guy who referenced George Washington earlier, because if George Washington could see our country today, he would be heartbroken by the bitter partisan stuff going on in our country and going on in our state. Here in Bella Vista, we have been above that fray. And it baffles me why the people sitting before me, why you would think about turning this into a partisan organization. Each and every one of you, Travis, the people who voted for you, they voted for you. They looked at the candidates and they chose you for you and who you are. Same with you, Wendy, and everybody else. And that is, as the woman said before me, that is the essence of local politics. They've been using the word transparency, obviously came prepared to put that word out there. Putting politics into this is the antithesis of transparency. If you're going to hide behind a political banner and not stand by yourself and for yourself, that's true transparency. Please, I beg you, don't do this. Don't. Our beautiful city has been above the political fray so far. Don't pull us down into that. Thank you.
The next speaker is Tricia Bravo of 16 Portsmouth Drive.
And it's Risha.
Okay, I was going to say, feel free to correct me on names. Some of them are difficult to read.
No worries, no worries. Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and City Council members, for this opportunity to speak. Voting in any election is the foundation of our freedom. Without it, we have no voice. We get one vote to cast, and there are no redos. This is about the voter's right to make the most informed decision when casting that one vote. Partisan elections help voters navigate issues by understanding what could influence a candidate or what motivates them as a community leader or policymaker. Voters want total disclosure from all candidates. When did placing an R, a D, or an I next to a candidate's name on a ballot become such a radical concept for some? Partisan elections are about empowering voters and providing another layer of transparency. This council should be pushing for such transparency, not avoiding it. It's nothing to be afraid of. Voters have the fundamental right to know exactly who they're voting for. Bella Vista residents are common sense people who deserve common sense solutions. If you truly want the best for Bella Vista, then please vote yes to the partisan elections. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Debbie Snyder of 3 Brecknock Circle. She may not be here. Debbie Snyder. Okay, the next speaker is Stephen Marshall of 20 Mackenzie.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I don't have a prepared speech, so I'll speak from the heart. I'll start with an analogy. I served 21 years in the Navy, and I retired as a senior chief. I typically wear my Navy hat, so when I'm at Walmart, I see another guy wearing a Navy hat, and I walk up to him. Well, I already know 80% of what there is to know about that guy by virtue of the fact that he was in the Navy. Same thing goes with politicians. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, I identify as a conservative, but have to register as a Democrat. I have voted Democrat before, so. We're footing the bill for everything that you guys do, and ladies too. It's probably a safe bet that every one of you wants a safe and thriving community. So do I. I want to know how you're going to get there. Are you going to increase law enforcement, or are you going to do it through social programs? The D and the R gives me a general idea what your core values are, how you're going to vote, and what I can expect from you. I'm obviously in favor of this resolution. Please think very hard. The mayor came to our house. We moved here from Maryland 3 years ago. I'm not from Maryland, from Oklahoma. But you came knocking on our door, shaking hands and kissing babies, and my wife asked you, are you a Republican or a Democrat? And you said, we don't do that here. And I thought that was really odd, because we moved here from Maryland. I mean, that's the epicenter of politics. Everybody in Maryland's pretty involved in politics. And we thought that was odd, and I heard somebody mention earlier, you're either hiding something, you're afraid, like I'm gonna go out there and key your car if you tell me you're a Democrat. That may not have been true, but that's how we felt. And it was really odd. So now when I vote, and I do vote, I literally have to start at ground zero to research you people. I would like to start at 80% and research the things that I'm concerned with. And I know the other 80% will just kind of take care of themselves. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you. The next speaker is Teresa Marshall of 20 Mackenzie.
Mr. Mayor, my husband stole my thunder. So I would only repeat most of what he said. I'm a Republican and I expect to vote for Republicans. And I urge you to pass this resolution.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is Kristen Slawinski of 10 Munster Drive.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, everyone, for listening to my child talk throughout this entire meeting. I just want to share to you why I believe that, sorry, and my Kindle just turned off. Why I believe it's so important that local races remain nonpartisan. Here in our city, the decisions we face aren't about red or blue, left or right. They're about us. They're about how we show up for one another, how we build this kind of community that we want to raise our families in, and how we take care of the place we all call home. When politics get pulled into this, something shifts. Suddenly neighbors who drive on the same roads, ride on the same bike paths, and cheer for the same school teams are asked to see each other as opponents opposed to partners. And when campaigns are framed through party labels, people end up being nudged to choose a side rather than the best idea. That makes it far too easy to overlook good solutions just because it didn't come from your team. But the truth is, the work of a city isn't about teams, it's about trust. It's about who's ready to listen, who's ready to roll up their sleeves, and who's ready to put this community first. Keeping these races nonpartisan keeps the focus where it belongs, on character, on vision, and on results. It keeps the door open for collaboration, even among people who see the world differently. It reminds us that progress doesn't come from one side winning. It comes from all of us pulling together in the same direction. At the end of the day, every one of us here wants to live in a safe, welcoming, full of opportunity city. Those are not partisan goals. Those are shared values. That is why protecting this nonpartisan spirit of local elections matters. It ensures that when we rise together, not as parties, but as one Bella Vista. Please vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Dove Rogers of 39 Huskins Circle.
Mayor, before that, I don't know if people are still signing up a sheet, but the rules would not permit these on this other sheet unless they sign before the meeting started. So okay, all right, so did you not pick them all up when? Okay, all right, well, this is the end of the list, so, okay, all right.
Okay. Good evening. Some of the issues have already been discussed here, but I'll go over them again. Some of the things are new, but you know, as good government, good or bad, starts at the local level, and it goes on up all the way to the federal. So far in my lifetime, I think we've had a uniparty. They can't make up their minds, so they all become one party, but they call themselves different names. But anyway, locally here, I heard that some of you do not want transparency regarding your actions. But we need to know something about each one of you, so we know gives us a better chance to vote the way we want the election to go. So we need to know who you are. Are you, it doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, or it doesn't matter. You can vote any way you want to, and that's the way it should be. But anyway, the voters do have a right to know where you stand, truthfully, not speak one way and then change it later. So I'm a Navy veteran also. I've been out of the military for about 65 years already, and I don't believe the American people have seen an honest election in their life. The last election here in Bella Vista, we had voting machines, which I hope we never use again. But I had to change my vote several times. It kept changing some of what I was voting for, or who I was voting for. So other people told me they had the same problem, and I did tell the people there that was overlooking the issues to warn people about the machine. They didn't seem to understand or care. But anyway, first of all, we're Americans. Secondly, we should be constitutional Americans, under the Constitution. But my question is this: when you entered the office you now hold, did you take an oath to serve, an oath to faithfully serve all the people? And that's each one of you. Did you do that? Some of you maybe did, some maybe you didn't. But if you did not take an oath, you may not be holding your office legally. Are you bonded? If you're holding a bond and you violate your oath, you are on dangerous ground. For the record, if you take an oath and you violate your oath, you may have committed a felony, a crime. It's that simple. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is John Carawam of 2 Blenheim Lane. Thank you. What was it? John, K-A-R-O-E.
It's Josh. My
Oh.
handwriting's like a chicken, so I can't read it. Sorry.
Sorry.
And I'm not here to talk about what everyone else talked about because I didn't even know that was tonight. And I didn't prepare a speech or nothing. And somebody said, "Are you gonna speak?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll sign my name on this thing." So I'm actually the Lorax, and I'm here for the trees, not here about anything else that anyone else was talking about. I'm here about an ordinance that I had a little bit of a spiff with the neighbor about them cutting tree limbs down from trees that are in my property, because my tree limbs hang into their property. I could see if the issue was that the tree limbs were over their house, were dead branches, were gonna fall and take out some of their property, potentially their vehicle, like my car was taken out by a Bella Vista POA tree 2 years ago. So was my house. Half the house was damaged because a tree from a neighboring property that was not mine, that was not dead, fell on my house, causing like $20,000 damage or something. My point is that some of these trees are in the back of the property, aren't anywhere near the house, but there's an ordinance that says they can just cut these limbs down because they're hanging over their property. I thought we were the city of trees at one time. Wasn't that like a thing? There's all these arbor signs all over town and everything like that. But yet we let people just destroy trees. I think that does damage to the tree if the person doesn't know what they're doing and they just start cutting willy-nilly and do whatever they want. Sure, you can find YouTube videos and stuff tell you how to do it or whatnot, but my only point here is that I'm just looking for an ordinance change for allowing people to cut trees without at least express written consent of the neighbor or approval of the neighbor or something. In this situation, the neighbor didn't even approach me. They just decided to do it because the ordinance says that they can. So just wish that there was a little bit better neighborhood feel in the community, but also I drive around and see trees all over the place being cut. And it's kind of uglying up Bella Vista, and I feel like we're losing our beauty in Bella Vista because Carroll Electric comes through and just destroys the whole entire thing. So hopefully others agree with me that that's the case. And as far as our own properties are concerned, it's our property, it's our trees. We bought the house with it looking beautiful, and I want them to stand. So please stop cutting my tree. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Sarah Badre of 25 Mount Drive. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I have terrible handwriting. It's not you. Thank you all for letting me come up here and speak. I am here to speak out against the proposed partisan resolution. I appreciate what Josh just came up and said, and I'm curious about how cutting down trees on your property has anything to do with partisan lines. I would like to see us keep our local politics local, keep our local politics connected to community and connected to what we have going on here. And I am not as eloquent as my friends, and by friends I mean community members, I don't know many of them, have come up here and spoken to this issue, but I would also echo everything that they've said as what I could not have said so clearly. So please oppose this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Brian Proctor of 39 Cargill Drive.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you. I'll keep my comments brief. I'm retired law enforcement. I worked for the 4th largest agency in the nation. I'm retired as a lieutenant. I've attended more city council, board of supervisor, community meetings than I can count, like your chief back here. He's probably loving every minute of these meetings. Anyway, I say that, I have sat in meetings where party affiliation almost always leaks into or filters into the decisions that are made by council members or community members. It has a great influence on the way that they conduct themselves, the way that they think. If I told you that I'm a Republican, that gives you a pretty good idea of who I am. If I tell you that I'm a conservative Christian, you've probably all have decided pretty quickly how you think that I believe and think. If I tell you I'm a Democrat, you don't know if I'm like the mayor that's running for mayor in New York who is a socialist, or if I'm a moderate. There's a wide span of differences. So when I open up the information that you provide during the voting season, I get to read all of the wonderful things about each candidate. And all of it is very nice and it's great. But what I want to know is where you stand. And this is, unfortunately, this is political. Someone said, let's keep politics out of this. This is politics. City council is political. And so anyway, I would like to know when I cast that ballot, if I don't have enough information, at least I can stand on party lines and make those decisions. So I think that we as members in the community really do deserve to know where you stand, what your party affiliation is, so that we can make informed decisions when we vote. The person with the most money and has the most money to put out the most signs and banners for to be voted for shouldn't surpass someone who has the experience and the time serving. That kind of thing should not happen. So anyway, I should have prepared my remarks. I was last minute coming here. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you do keep the transparency and vote for political affiliation. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Shannon Moots of 2 Pratt Lane.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Shannon Moots, and my family and I have been residents of Bella Vista for 8 years. My husband and I are local public educators who invest a lot of time, resources, and energy into our local schools and students. Unfortunately, we do live in a time where your political affiliation does say a lot about you. What you stand for, your morals, what you believe in, the decisions you will make, and what you will spend most of your time and energy on. So I am in favor of passing this. Because for me personally, I did struggle finding information about each candidate during the last election. It would have helped me a lot to know your political affiliation, because I actually almost voted for someone that I found out last minute I really do not align with their views. And that was very concerning to me because I struggled so much to find legitimate information about each candidate. Why would you want to keep this hidden? I don't know why. Could it be because you might be involved with a very progressive organization like Emerge Arkansas, and you don't want anyone to know about that? Or that you may have progressive ideas about the decisions being made for the city and you prefer residents not be aware of it? I think the real reason that anyone would be opposed to somebody knowing their party affiliation is because they're concerned they would not be elected should the residents of Bella Vista know this information, and that really being the true meaning. Please pass this resolution. People of Bella Vista deserve transparency and truth. I believe it is unethical to gain the trust of people that may not actually agree with your political views while serving in a political position. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Janae Cox of 31 Lambeth Drive.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. A lot has been said tonight about transparency, so I'd like to talk about transparency in 3 brief points. I know we've all been here a while. First of all, a lot of people have said you just want to hide your partisanship and hide your party, and why wouldn't you want to share it? And I would like to very clearly say there's no cowardice in being nonpartisan. I was raised by a general in the Air Force who has had to maintain a nonpartisan role as he has led squadrons and advised the Joint Chief, and watched him have so much nobility and bravery in holding his role as a nonpartisan person serving our country. And I see you all doing the same, and I very much appreciate it, and maintaining our city as a nonpartisan and safe place for our community. Secondly, there's a lot of people saying, why wouldn't you want to share? Well, it goes beyond just what you're saying about yourself. There's an impact to the campaigns. First of all, you'd have to pay a political party fee. Right now, in order to run, as you know, you have to go around and get Bella Vista residents to sign, and you have to get enough residents to agree to let you run. And if this changes, then you would have to pay a political party fee instead. So instead of getting support from the residents, you're just putting more money in the pockets of political parties, and I don't see anyone in Bella Vista being in favor of that. And I'd be very concerned about a city council member who's in favor of that. Additionally, you'll face longer campaigns because right now, to run next November, you have to file by July 2026. If this changes, you have to file this November. So it's a full year of campaigning, which is expensive and harder and much more of a barrier to running. And we appreciate so much people willing to serve and to run and serve our city, and we'll have less people able to do that financially. Also, you'll be more accountable to political party leaders instead of to Bella Vista voters. And I don't think anyone should be in favor of that. I personally am not. My third point is, a lot of people said they don't want to have to do the work to figure out what you stand for. I have 4 kids, I have a bunch of pets, I work full-time, I volunteer a lot, I have no time either. But it's not actually that hard, and I don't think we should make it easy for everyone to just vote a party ticket. We have forums that I personally have helped run, met a lot of you at it, and we have Voter 411 where you can just look up and see how you all vote. There's a lot of resources out there, and we're working very hard to make them more and more available. I'd like to close, a lot of people mentioned the Constitution and conservatism, and I'd like to close with the words of John Adams. There's nothing which I dread so much as a division of the Republic into 2 great parties, each arranged under its leader, and concerting measures in opposition to each other. This, in my humble apprehension, is to be dreaded as the greatest political evil under our Constitution. Thank you. Please vote no.
Thank you. That completes the citizen input. It is now time for a council member reply. Travis Harp.
First of all, thank you all for coming and taking time out of your night to speak with us. Regardless of whether you agree with my position on this or not, I appreciate you taking the time to come here, which brings me to my first point, and I'll try to be brief, but I wanted to get some points across. The majority of the people in this room, I'm going to say, probably did their research on the candidates. Whenever I ran for office, I believe there was 9 city council candidates, and there was other elections going on. And the city council is probably the lowest level of office going on at the time. And the people in this room probably did their due diligence and researched me and probably could figure out where I stood without a party line. However, there's still people asking what's going on across from Allen's. So those people are not going to be able to do their research, whether they don't care enough or they don't have time. I don't know. I have children too, and I have time for it, but everyone's different, and everyone's priorities are different. Another thing I keep hearing in opposition is you'll be held to the party standard. You'll whatever to the party. Well, everyone is going around saying they don't like this, is taking progressive money. They're already taking their party's money. They're already getting campaign donations. So it's okay for them to accept the money, but you don't want them to say where the money's coming from. You have to go and do your research. I think that's unfair. Another common thing I hear, roads aren't partisan. No, they're not. But how a candidate votes to fix the roads or where they get the money from is the part that's partisan. Another thing, you'll have to pay money to run for office. That's only if you choose to align with the party. If we vote in favor of this, a candidate will still have the ability to go collect signatures and run as an independent, very similar to how they do now. So I just want you all to know those things about this, and thanks for coming again.
Pardon me? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think our attorney would appreciate it if we didn't have so much applause, particularly now that we're past the personal speaking. Wendy Hughes?
Hey, I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight. For all the friends who email us who are not here, we thank you for all your emails. They were plentiful, fun to read and fun to reply to. And civic engagement is one of my favorite things. Even though we might think differently, I just thank you all for taking the time to be here, to email us, and I will say my other remarks when it's time to debate this.
Shay Newport?
I also thank everyone for coming. Jeannie, I remember you making a comment that you had sent some information about the suicide crisis line to your representative. I was just asked that you share it with all members of City Council. Friendly reminder, we are elected at large, and even though we represent wards, we are beholden to all Bella Vistans, or at least I think many of us see it that way. So if you'd be so kind to share that with all of us, I'm sure we'd be very excited to read that. Josh, thanks for being a Lorax and for coming and speaking about the trees, and for sticking to your subject and not getting into the popular item of the night. And lastly, I will withhold my comments until we reach item K on the agenda. Thank you.
Larry, did you want to say something?
I guess my only comment is that the process is changed from what it's been in the prior years for off-presidential election candidates. It now requires us to file a year ahead of time, whether we're a party affiliate or not. The rules that were adopted by the legislature this last year made the procedure for elections, local and otherwise, to be consistent in off years with the presidential cycle. So we all have to file a year ahead of time, so there's nothing new about that. I don't know how it impacts us in terms of a primary. If we have more than two persons running for a given seat, whether we'll have a primary or not, and I would defer that to Jason Kelly, our staff attorney, if he has any wisdom in that area. A primary.
I don't have much wisdom. Anybody will tell you that probably. But what were you asking me a question? I'm sorry.
The question is, with the new legislation, and I have not read it in depth, does it require a primary.
Okay,
But
are you talking about the partisan
if
election?
more than two members of a local council are running, will there be a primary to break that down?
Let me correct one thing. It's not new legislation. It's been the law for a number of years that the city had the authority to go to partisan elections if it so chose to do that.
Right.
What was new is that the legislature this past year, they tried to sort of reverse that. It would have to be partisan elections at the
Automatic.
city, and I don't remember if it provided, I think it provided an opt-out for cities rather than the other way around.
It was an opt-out.
So that did not pass. So the rules that we're operating under now on the state level have been this for a number of years. So
But they changed the timing for
Oh.
the registration.
I
for
don't know
elections.
that off the top of
Okay,
my head.
All right. Anyway, that's what I understand was done by the legislature this past year, is that they changed the cycling to be the same and consistent with what it is in the presidential election. So all of us will have to file on the same time frame that they do in a presidential. So that has not changed. The other thing is, with respect to politics, I think how we speak, how we vote, certainly reflects our views personally about which party we might support. I'm a conservative, but there isn't a conservative party in our area. So I belong to the Republican Party in my off time, and I'm proud of that. I don't always vote Republican if I find a candidate that aligns with my personal values greater, but it's rare that I find one that correlates more than the Republicans do. They're more on the conservative side. So that's, I don't support this ordinance.
Wendy?
Sorry, just a clarification. If this passes, we would, and you, as one of the party, you'd have to file in November. If it does not pass, you'd still file as independent.
Right.
No, nonpartisan, and you wouldn't file until August of 2026, just for clarification.
Trav?
This is response to public comment, not debate on the resolution.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Sure, go ahead,
I'll be
Greg.
brief. No, I just wanted to say thanks for everybody for coming out. You know, I've been involved between commissions and councils and all these things for over 20 years, and I mean, this is what it's all about. So it's great to see the interaction, and if, in case anybody leaves early before we get to the bottom, I'm an independent. I have no problem sitting up here and telling you exactly who I am. I really, to imply that we're hiding those things of that nature, I don't have anything to hide. I've talked to plenty of people just randomly and had conversations. You know, my family's going through some stuff right now, and I'll talk about that later too. I won't be here next month. My wife's having brain surgery. I would hate for anybody in this room to decide whether they wanted to cook my family a dinner or do something nice for us because I'm a Republican or a Democrat. I mean, that's where my mind is at. I do this because I love where I live. I love my community. I love doing the time. I love doing the hard things. That's what this is all about for me. You know, as far as like, it's kind of cloak and dagger as far as how I identify. You know, guys, I can't make anybody do the research to find out who's running a political campaign. It's expensive. I have shouldered 100%, spare $100 that I got handed to me by a neighbor. I have financed every one of my campaigns, and they are not cheap. And I'm concerned that this is really going to bring a lot of a really divisive quality to our community, and I'm terrified of that. Because this is one of the last places, I mean, you really think about how insulated we are in Bella Vista from all this other stuff. I mean, all the other stuff. And I'll do everything I can to keep us insulated and keep all the federal stuff out of this. I mean, I'm almost thinking that this is more of a political stunt just to make sure that we all identify as something to you guys. I'm just here giving you 100% all the time. And it doesn't matter if I'm Democrat, Republican, Independent. So do with that what you will. And everybody did fantastic tonight. I know it's a little nerve-wracking sitting up here. I get choked up sometimes. I get a little too passionate, and then I can't even speak straight. So, but anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll proceed with the agenda. The next item is the monthly financial report. I'd like to mention that last week our audit was completed. We got a clean bill of health on that. It's posted on the website, and it was sent to City Council. And our Director of Finance gave City Council some good advice that because it's a gap audit, first one we had, and it's somewhat complicated. Focus on page 6 and 8, and in particular page 36 and 37 at the end of the audit. Has to do with how we did compared to budget. I'd like to talk just briefly about the financials through June 30, 2025. And we continue to have good results this year. The total revenues, operating revenues, are up 12% over last year. The city sales tax is up 14% over last year, which is very surprising. And the county sales tax is up 4.6% over last year. So we're having very encouraging results. On the expense side, our total operating expenditures are $500,000 under budget. So we're continuing to have a good situation with our financials this year. As you know, the economy's been kind of uncertain. People didn't know quite what to expect, and what we've done so far exceeds what anyone expected, frankly, even the optimistic people. So I feel really good about that. Next item is first I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules of order and procedure to allow all ordinances on the agenda to be read by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Was that Wendy? That was Larry Wilms and Wendy Hughes. A roll call vote.
Council members Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Isbell, absent, Hanschel.
Yes.
Harp,
Not voting.
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Thank you for that. The next item is the consent agenda, which was the minutes of July 28 and August 4. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was Wendy Hughes and Shay Newport. Motion on the consent agenda, roll call vote.
Council members Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Thank you for that. The next item under unfinished business is an ordinance adopting a new zoning ordinance and map for the city of Bella Vista, Chapter 109, repealing prior zoning ordinances and maps and for other purposes. This is second reading, and I thought perhaps you might want to go through the amendments before we decide what action we want to take on this, but.
Well, can I just sort of
Sure.
just explain? These amendments are listed on your agenda for, just so you know, they're out there. Until someone moves them, there's no amendment. So if during your general debate, if you just want to talk about all these possibilities, you certainly can do that. If there's a desire to kind of wait, you can do that. But the proposed ordinance is not going to be amended until someone moves and seconds to amend, and you can have an individual debate on those amendments at that time. So with the exception of Mr. Harp has one, the septic tree preservation, removing that. The others were recommended or requested by the staff as part of the process, working with the consultant and fixing some things, errors and things that we've found as we've gone through the process. So if there's a desire to go ahead and you want the amendments, we can do that. Or if you just want to talk about it second reading, go to third reading next month, you can. You can obviously do it as you wish. But just because the amendments are on the agenda, you don't have an obligation to go through each one of them is really the main point I'm wanting to make.
Yeah, it's a good point. And the other thing is you could amend and, vote to adopt an amendment, and you could still let the whole thing go to third reading. It's just going to third reading looking a little bit different. Wendy?
If it's all the same, personally, I prefer to leave the amendments as they are and just all at the third reading in September. I'm open to whatever everyone's open to, but that was my preference.
Shay?
That's also my preference.
Larry?
I would propose that we act on the amendments now to bring them onto the table for consideration as suggested by our staff attorney.
I'm not suggesting you do it tonight. I'm saying you have an option to do it as you wish.
Right, I understand. But
Okay.
putting it out there as being something that we're actively considering, it puts it on the table for that purpose.
Okay, so the way to do that is someone's going to need to move one of these amendments, and it'll need to get seconded to proceed to a debate on one of the proposed amendments.
And I would move to move the small cell permitting requirements amendment to the table. Or what? As
Okay,
a,
you're moving to amend the proposed zoning ordinance to add the small cell permitting requirements amendment.
that would be correct.
Okay, so that, Mayor, there would need to be a second for there to be a debate on that particular amendment tonight.
Is there a second? No?
Okay, so Mayor, a motion without a second dies.
Yeah.
So you're still able to offer an amendment later on in the process if you so desire. It's not dead by any means, just to, not trying to confuse things. We're just
Yeah,
trying to have all this stuff
sure.
on the agenda so everybody knew what was out there.
Yeah. Is there any other amendments anybody wants to talk about tonight or do anything about, or you'd rather just wait till next month?
Yes, I would offer up clarifying the front yard restriction requirement for electric panels as recommended by staff and apparently agreed with by Carroll Electric. Is that not correct? So I would offer that one up.
So that's a motion to amend the proposed ordinance to make the clarifying front yard restriction amendment.
Correct.
Is there a second? Travis?
Yeah, I would agree with the other ones that said they would prefer to wait until the third reading to do the amendments.
You need a second.
Yeah,
There's a pending
so-
motion.
Okay, I guess there is no second then.
All right, so the same story with this one, that motion dies without a second.
Okay, are we ready to move on to item F? Okay. Item F is an ordinance adopting a new subdivision ordinance for the city of Bella Vista, chapter 107, repealing the prior subdivision ordinance and for other purposes. That's also on second reading. Okay, then we can continue on to new business. Let's see. G is an ordinance amending section 27-4 hours of trail operation, prohibition on usage while closed of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bella Vista to allow 24-hour per day usage of shared use paved trails. Staff requests third and final on this ordinance.
Motion to suspend the rules and move to third and final.
Second.
That was Wendy Hughes and Craig Honchel. This is a motion to suspend the rules and move the third and final. Roll call vote.
Council members Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
No.
is Hanschel,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 4-1. So that was a motion to move to third and final. I will read it for the third time. Amending section 27-4 hours of trail operation, prohibition on usage while closed of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bella Vista to allow 24-hour per day usage of shared use paved trails.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Craig?
Taylor, what this ordinance is addressing is what was agreed upon for the Greenway. This is all in conjunction with the Greenway agreements, correct, as far as the cameras, et cetera?
The Razorback Greenway Alliance, it is a
Or,
part
yeah,
of the,
the lighting, I'm sorry.
oh, the Razorback Greenway Alliance, which we are part of with the other cities.
I'm saying the wrong things, hoping that you'll get what I'm getting at.
No, I get what you're saying. City council already approved that we would do this in 2022 via the attached
Yeah.
resolution. We're just a little behind the game because that was over 3 years ago.
I had no
so,
notes,
yeah.
sorry.
Just following through with what we said we do, what we would do back in 2022.
Thank you.
Larry Wilms?
My no vote for the third reading was relative to the fact that it doesn't include, it requires it to be open 24 hours without an exception for closure for maintenance and other service. And that's not provided in this ordinance or this amendment. So I think it's lacking in that respect because there are times when we will need to close that trail.
No, this has to do with public usage hours. It doesn't restrict the city from being able to close a section to repair it or anything like this. These are hours of operation. So it amends our current hours of operation regarding trails and separates out the paved trails to say those can be used 24 hours a day. The others have a particular opening and closing time because we don't want people in the middle of the night out in the woods.
So the ability to shut down a section of it for maintenance and repair is provided elsewhere in the agreement?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
And for other, not just maintenance, there's other reasons too. The city can close any public trail
Okay,
for any
all right,
deemed
all right.
necessary.
Motion to approve?
Second.
That was Wendy Hughes and Shay Newport. This is a motion to approve. Roll call vote.
Council members Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Next one is an ordinance establishing a business license requirement for qualifying businesses operating within the city, providing for classes and exemptions, requiring annual renewal, establishing fees, providing penalties for violations, and for other purposes. Before we discuss, I did offer an amendment to this, and the point of the amendment was I wasn't sure what you're going to do, but I was concerned you might pass it and become effective in October or November or something, and people get a license, and then a new one's due January 1. So the point of the amendment is the first license you get goes to January 1, 2027. So if it happens to pass and become effective before year end, you didn't want people having to get a license twice. You just get the one, and it'll take a little bit more than a year. So that's the
Mayor.
only thing I had to say about it. I don't know if Travis?
So I'm not completely against having the business license requirements, but my hesitation to this is because I think the most important thing we need to do as a city is invite new businesses here, because that's how we're going to afford the city services that our citizens deserve. I'm opposed to raising taxes. I'm opposed to us footing the bill. I think this is the only logical way, and I think this makes it harder, more complicated. There's already a lot of process that's in place, and they're already required to get a certificate of occupancy through the city. And if they're circumventing that process now, what makes us think that they're gonna abide by it just because they have a business license? They can still illegally operate a business. And oh, by the way, if somebody is illegally operating a business in Bella Vista without their certificate of occupancy, I think we should do everything in our power to get them up to compliance, not run them off and fine them and make it harder and more expensive, because they're gonna pass those costs on to us. So those are the reasons that I'm hesitant to do this. It's gonna be more expensive, it's just gonna be more red tape. They're gonna come to us and say that we need to attach a fee to this because the clerks over at the office are spending however much time dealing with the business license. So that's kind of my issue with being in favor of this.
Wendy Hughes?
Just for transparency, I do want to wait 3 readings for this ordinance. I think it's important for us to make sure if we're going to do this, we do it the correct way. But second, so we can vote to amend and then also not later on pass, correct?
Sure.
Okay. Motion to approve the amendment?
The motion is to amend the proposed ordinance to read as presented on the piece of paper.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Seconded.
That was Wendy Hughes and Shay Newport. A motion on the amendment to amend the business license.
Right, roll call vote, council members Harp.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I should have started with Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Yes.
and Harp.
Yes.
And Hughes.
And Hughes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
A motion to amend carried 5-0, and otherwise, people would rather wait, and this is just first reading. So,
Right.
yeah.
My comment is that I think we need to invite the business community. We have a very active Bella Vista Business Association, and I think we need to invite them into the process of doing this. It has an impact on the businesses, some of them more so than others. The other thought is that if we're going to inventory businesses, we need to cover all of them, whether they work solo out of their house or not. We need to exempt those who work out of their house as their place of employment, but they sell nothing and they're purely for service to customers for a corporation. And that applies to any number of people, and perhaps in this room, I could name a couple that it would apply for, because there is a business operating out of their house. And so it would exempt those clearly. I don't know that currently we include home occupations. I think we need to inventory those simply to know who's doing what. It provides a basis to say, yes, we have a business like that in Bella Vista, or they can find it on a list. So I think there's more work that needs to be done before the final ordinance.
Travis?
I don't really think it's the city's business if they're operating out of their house and not having customers over personally. So I think they should be exempt from a business license if council does pass this.
Yeah, I think when we drafted it, we tried to make it as soft and innocuous as possible, consistent with some of the comments you've made. We don't want to, it's not a contest to see how much you can regulate people and make their life miserable, right? So anyway, different people have different attitudes about that, but we can talk about that at the next work session since it's just going to second reading. Okay, next one's a resolution amending the 2025 city budget in the amount of $20,119 to appropriate library impact fees for the purchase of library shelving and furnishings. And I noticed our librarian, Suzanne Adams, is here if you would like to hear from her about it. Wendy?
Jason, could you explain what impact fees are?
Explain what impact fees are. So impact fees are fees that we collect upon new development that allow the city to recoup the costs of increased development on city government, so that the taxpayers who aren't here, aren't having to pick up an unfair amount of that expense. So we have a fire impact fee, we have police impact fee, one of those is a library impact fee. And basically, because whatever the impact of growth is on the library, in this case would be more books, more shelving, being able to provide more of that, so they can use their impact fee revenue in order to provide that service related to the impact of the increased development. Did that answer your question?
It did, thank you.
Okay, all right.
And there's certain amounts in the different accounts. I believe the library total, last time I looked, was like $70,000, something in that range. And you have to spend it within 7 years of when you get it. Travis?
My question is, in the event that we don't spend that money in 7 years, what happens to the impact fees?
Has to be returned.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was a motion by Wendy Hughes and second by Larry Wilms. Roll call vote.
Council members Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Thank you for that. Next one is a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract with Sidons Martin Emergency Group pursuant to an HGAC cooperative purchasing agreement for the purchase of 1 RIT pack and 5 air packs for use by the fire department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was Shay Newport and Craig Honchel. Roll call vote.
Councilmembers Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Thank you for that. Next one is a resolution providing for partisan primary elections for municipal offices in the city of Bella Vista, beginning with the 2026 municipal election cycle and providing voter transparency. I thought some of you indicated you might want to speak about it. Travis?
I guess my question is for Councilmember Honchel, because unlike what Larry indicated, I didn't become a Republican because nothing else fit me. I fit very well into that, so I'm a member of that party. My question for Mr. Honchel is, you indicated that you're an independent, and this wouldn't stop you from running as an independent, but it will stop me from running as a Republican. So why is that okay that you can run under yours, but I can't run under what I want to?
Well, you have the same right to run as whatever you want. I mean, I don't understand how you feel like are you thinking I'm trying to call you out? Or what?
No, I'm just saying, you said that you're an independent. So if we pass this resolution, you still get to run as an independent, but I don't get to run as a Republican unless we approve this.
They don't put an I next to my name.
But you'll collect signatures and do it just the way you do now.
I'm running as a human being. There's no letter next to my name. If somebody wants to know about me, they can call, they can text, they can write, they can do whatever they want. But the minute that we get into this thing where it's split off, I can't tell you one time, okay, well, let me turn it around. Can you tell me one time, an instance in this city where a Republican or a Democrat could have resolved a problem better? Or where that divide has enhanced those conversations?
Yeah, absolutely. The short-term rental debates, property right debates, anytime we've agreed or not agreed to raise taxes to accomplish something. And that's what I'm saying. You said that you're an independent, and I respect that. I think it's perfectly fine. But you can run as an independent without this approval. I can't run under my preferred without this approval.
I don't
So-
understand the logic. I mean, I just don't. So.
Wendy Hughes?
Hey, I have just two quick things. One, regarding the short-term rental, I was a candidate at that time, so I wasn't part of the council making that decision. But I do know the political makeup at that council on their personal politics, and 5 were Republicans, and 1 is like an independent moderate. So there's that. But 2, I did reach out to local community leaders to kind of get their thoughts on this. And to quote Mayor C. of Pea Ridge, "My thoughts are to keep the municipal level elections nonpartisan being the best option. I have said since I was elected that I don't think of myself as a politician, but I am passionate about cultivating the best Pea Ridge that we can. I think that we see this at the federal level. The finger pointing between Democrats and Republicans will be more a negative impact in our community." That's all I have to say.
Shay Newport?
Hey there, I just wanted to share with the city of Bella Vista, you guys might not realize this, but if you go check with our Benton County clerk, Betsy Harrell, you can actually maybe even pay a small fee. I'm not sure how you get the list, but you can get the list of all registered voters in Benton County. And I do just want to share that as of August of last year, which is the latest list I had pulled, there were 27,217 registered voters in Bella Vista. Out of those, 1,205 were registered as Democratic, 3,716 were registered as Republican, and here's the kicker, 22,271 people, including myself, are registered as optional. And I don't think that our neighbors who are registered as optional and who choose to be nonpartisan are hiding anything. I think we all want to be neighbors, and we just want to be who we are. I invite you to fact check me, to pull that list yourself, but as a matter of fact, the vast majority of Bella Vistans have not chosen a political party, and I don't support that now. Thank you.
Mayor,
Travis?
do you happen to know the latest numbers on percentages of those that pulled a Republican card or a Democrat card in the primaries? Because if you're registered as optional, you can still pick a card when you go to vote in the primaries.
Arkansas has open primaries, so anybody can pull whatever ballot they want.
Yeah, and and this is exactly what this is doing. So we're gonna have this big debate, this big back and forth. Oh, Craig Honchel, he's the wacko because, I don't align. When I vote, that's very personal to me. That is my time to be selfish. The one time I get to be selfish for myself and my family. So when I'm in there by myself, my ballot goes whoever's speaking to me. So it doesn't really matter, and I understand. People are passionate about this stuff. I get it. I understand. But the hesitancy that I have to align with anybody is that I honestly feel that if I did align with a group, I would have a hard time being honest with y'all about who I am and who I'm representing. And I'm saying that as honestly as I can. And I'm not doing that for anything other than just to be honest and transparent sitting here. I can have a conversation with any of y'all. I mean, once you guys decide what I am, that alters things. And I think that's a very dangerous ground for us to get into. Like I said, I mean, I think this is basically just a way of calling us out, is what we're going through right now. I don't have anything to hide. I do this because I enjoy it. I enjoy people. I enjoy the interaction up here. So, if a D or an R defines me, then we probably wouldn't be friends anyway, to tell you the truth. So, with that.
Travis?
My one last statement about this is, and I'm not going to change anyone's mind up here, I'm convinced, but whenever I campaigned for city council, I knocked on 500 or 600 doors. And I can remember maybe 2 to 4 doors that I knocked on where they didn't ask this. The voters want to know this information, and I believe we owe it to them to give it to them.
And they can find that on your website, I'm sure. Correct.
So, as far as the resolution, is there a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Mayor, then if there's no second to approve, the item is on the agenda. It might be that someone would want to move to table
I beg a motion to
indefinitely
table.
as an alternative to approving it. You either want to have it and talk about it, or you don't want to have it and talk about it. And certainly can't force anybody to second a motion to approve if that's not their opinion. So it would be in order to move to table if that's an option.
Table, is it table
Indefinitely,
indefinitely? Or just, is that implied? I don't
It's
know.
you need to say indefinitely if that's what you intend.
Sure. Motion to table indefinitely.
Is there a second?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, a legal question, sure.
Must we take an action one way or another by either tabling it or moving it to a vote?
You haven't disposed of it until you do one or the other.
Okay, then second.
Okay, there's a motion to table indefinitely and a second. Wanda, a roll call vote?
Council members Newport,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Harp,
No.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion to table indefinitely passes 4-1. Thank you. Announcements, next city council work session is 5:30 PM Monday, September 15, and it's in this building at the district court. That's a change. It's because we have a new recording system that's superior. So we want to have it in here for the recording. Next city council regular meeting, 6 PM Monday, September 22, here at the court. Planning Commission work session, 4:30 PM Thursday, August 28, at the district court. Planning Commission regular meeting, 4:30 PM or immediately following the Board of Zoning Adjustment, Monday, September 8th at District Court. Board of Construction Appeals, 3 PM Tuesday, September 9, if necessary, at Fire Station Number 4 Conference Room. That's at 1639 Forest Hills Boulevard. And Larry, I think you had an announcement you wanted to make.
I do. In the paper, you'll find that there's a celebration coming up, a 50th anniversary celebration for the Wishing Spring Gallery that's down on McNeely Road. It's not in the city, but we have lots of city people involved as artisans at that location. So it'll be September 5th, beginning at 10 to 5 p.m. There will be a ribbon cutting and guest speakers at 10:30 sharp. That's September 5th, the Wishing Spring Gallery. Question?
Craig?
No, I don't have a question. I did allude to it earlier. I will be absent. I just wanted to make this a public statement, just to have it on the record. I will be absent next month during the work session and probably next meeting. My wife is having surgery, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood I'm not absent on purpose. So, and while I'm at it, we've been contacted by several very nice people, just neighbors, everything, about everything that's going on. And I couldn't say, I can't say thanks enough. I appreciate everybody's kind words and all the nice things they've asked me to pass on to my wife. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, the meeting is adjourned.